Last week we answered the question, I believe in God, but aren't there many paths to Him? There are several follow-up questions to this that we've been addressing, and one of them is, why are there so many religions? I'm sure we're all very aware that there are many different religions out there. There are the main religions like Christianity and Judaism and Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism, and there are many, many other religions that people hold to throughout the world. Why is that? Before we look at the Bible, I want to look at what culture says. Culture tells us that there are many valid roads to God, that either all religions or at least the vast majority of religions are all going to God. For example, you can imagine that God is up on the top of a mountain, and every religion is a different pathway to get you to the top of the mountain. Christians go up one path, Buddhists go up another path, Muslims still another, but we're all going to God. That's what culture says. There are many valid roads to God. People are getting to God in a lot of different ways. But what does the Bible say? That's what we want to know. Fortunately, the Bible answers this question very clearly in Romans 1:19 through 21. Here's what we find there. They, humanity, know the truth about God because He has made it obvious to them. For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see His invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature. So part of the reason that there's so many religions is because creation conscience, all of it are telling us that God is real, that God exists, that the supernatural is out there. But there's a problem, and Romans 1:21 tells us what the problem is. Yes, they knew God, but they wouldn't worship Him as God or even give Him thanks. And they began to think up foolish ideas of what God was like. As a result, their minds became dark and confused. Here we find the problem. Yes, people know that God is real. They can clearly see His invisible qualities through creation and through conscience. But Romans 1 is telling us that humans tend to reject the truth about God and create their own gods. That's what we do. Because sin is so great in our hearts, we don't want to acknowledge God as He is. We don't want to fall on our knees and submit to Him. And so we twist the image of God and we make gods after our own desires and our own lusts and our own passions. And this answers the question for us where religions come from. Religions come from humans who distort and twist God as He reveals Himself in creation. As we reject the truth about God, we make gods after our own image, and that's why we have so many religions. And so according to the Bible, these other religions aren't other pathways to get you to God. They're distortions of God. Now, I'm not saying that everything in every religion is evil and bad and awful, but taken as a whole, other religions lead you away from God. They lead you away from Jesus. They're distortions of the true God. And this reminds us that the only way we can come to God is through Jesus. We can't come to God through any other way, through any other religion, only through Jesus. Now go ahead and pause the video and discuss some of these questions.